suffering is not normal. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this when I say this, that suffering does not mean that you're on a right path. It does not mean that you're aligned. It does not mean that you are doing something meaningful. If anything at all, unnecessary suffering just means probably one thing, which is that you are doing something that is not meant for you. Because understand this very clearly, okay? That there is a difference between hard work and suffering. Hard work, yes, you need that. You need to put in those hours, you need to show up, you need discipline. But suffering is a completely different game. It is a completely different thing. Because simply put, suffering usually occurs when you're constantly doing something wherein you have to force yourself, wherein you're constantly going against yourself, constantly feeling drained for no reason. And then, with that, you convince yourself that this must mean something. And darling, you're not gonna like it when I say this, because it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything that you're doing something bigger than life. No, it doesn't mean anything like that. Because most of the times, let's be for real, suffering is a choice. Suffering is a conscious choice that you make. We choose it by not listening to our intuition. We choose it by ignoring our gut feeling. And deep down, we all know what is right or wrong for us. Every time you know it. Even if you don't want to acknowledge it, that's a different thing. But then we keep doing the thing anyways because we see it working out for others. And then in that delusion, we create our own hell. And then sit in that hell thinking that is some sort of an achievement. That's not growth. That is simply misalignment. Now, understand something very simple in life, and your life will become so much better if you understand this simple thing. That life is unfair. Repeat after me. Life is unfair. But here's the catch. It is only unfair to the degree that you feel it is. Because everything exists through you, through your perception. You will see things as you are. Because I can be saying something for your good, but if in your heart you're already not feeling good about yourself, you already think that I don't think good about you, then you're not going to take it in that sense. The moment you start believing that things are not working in your favor, you will start seeing evidence for it in real life. And the moment you will believe that things are indeed working in your favor, then you get evidence of that. I mean, you can simply try this in real time. You just decide that, okay, today I'm gonna notice red car or red balloon. Try it. Just try it today. Decide that you want to see a red car or a red balloon or anything specific, and see how your brain filters everything else out, and you will end up noticing that. Because attention is currency. Attention is perception. And wherever you put in your attention and however you believe for things to turn out, most of the times it's going to happen that way. And now there is another angle to this. That every one of us has some sort of advantage over somebody else. Every single one of us. Even if you do not know your advantage yet. Because to understand what advantage you have over somebody else or in general, you need to understand yourself. And that is why understanding yourself matters a lot. And now once you have this advantage, some of us are aware of it, some of us are not. Some of us use it, some of us don't. You might be pretty, you might be handsome, you might be rich, you might be confident, you might be athletic, you might be smart, you might be empathetic, you might have skills for storytelling, you might have nothing obvious, but you have something that can be turned into an advantage. Anything can be your advantage if you choose to see it that way. Now, there are people who use it. Great, go ahead, make your life better, make other people's life better. That's amazing. And then there are people who consciously choose not to, or who don't recognize what advantage they have. And then when they don't understand themselves enough, what do they do instead? What do? They sit and crib. They spread hatred, right? They go and cry to their friends, their family. And then when that doesn't work, then they go onto the internet and spread hatred. They spread hatred by saying things like, she's just using her face card, he's just a Nepo baby. Okay, if it's that simple to use your face card, then why don't you do it? If she's just being pretty, then go ahead, do what she's doing. And especially the people who constantly blame women for using a system that already exploits her by saying she knows what she's doing. She's using the algorithm. She's just being pretty. So, mind if I ask you who's consuming that content? Tell me. And I'm sure you know the answer very well. If you yourself are a consumer of a certain thing, of a certain sort of content, etc., then what exactly are you complaining about? Hate the game if you want, but don't sit here attacking the player when the system itself is being fed by those very people. And I'm not preaching what one should do or not. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm not telling you what is right or wrong. All I'm saying is people operate from what they have. Nobody just randomly wakes up one day and chooses a certain path without any context. Everybody is responding to their situation. So if you have something, anything that can work in your favor, use it. Use it well, use it wisely, use it smartly, use it to make your and people around you and their life better. Now, I understand why some people don't use their obvious advantage. Sometimes it's money, like people who come from rich families, they're like, no, 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 I'm gonna do my own thing. And then sometimes they struggle more than they need to. And then sometimes it's talent, that maybe you can sing, you're attractive, you're confident, but you stay behind the doors. And I get it. Maybe you do it out of morality, or you do it because you want to be the bigger person in the room, or maybe you feel like it is the right thing to do. But honey, understand this thing very clearly. There is a difference between being empathetic and being self-destructive. And I'm saying this as someone who is empathetic. Be empathetic, be kind, be aware, but don't become self-destructive in the name of morality. Because morality, being a bigger person, all of this is a human construct. It exists so that we can exist peacefully. It does not exist and should not exist to make you suffer unnecessarily. If you think that suffering makes you a better person, then you're being delusional, because it does not. You do not get any brownie points for suffering, for making your life harder than it should be. If you think that by holding yourself back, you're achieving something otherworldly, you're not. You're not. Because simply put, there is nothing guaranteed beyond this life. You do not know what happens after this life. I don't know what happens after this life. I mean, nobody does. Nobody. This right here is what you have, and be grateful for it. Be grateful for it and show it by making your life better, by becoming a better person. And now, after understanding all this, what are you waiting for? Why are you choosing a version of life wherein you're constantly resisting yourself? Because when you're actually aligned in what you're meant to do, things can get hard. Yes, things can also feel uncertain, but it will never feel like you're dragging through your own life. You will not feel like you're going to die. It will not feel like suffering, like you're dying. You will not feel like you're dragging yourself through life, like you're just surviving, surviving, and surviving. You will feel like moving, even if it is hard. And I'm going to tell you something that is not talked about enough, and I don't think people realize this enough. When you do what you're intended to do, you will enjoy the hell out of it. Because this is something that we don't talk about enough. The easiest and the most efficient way to achieve anything, literally I'm saying anything, is by having fun. I'm not even kidding, like literally anything. Because if you're not having fun, then you're just forcing it. And nothing good comes out of force. You've seen this in school, maybe in your office, that there is always this one person who studies less in your eyes, who is doing way lesser than what you are doing, and they're still on the top. And then you're sitting there thinking, But I did so much more than this person. Then why am I not there where this person is? And now this is the difference. This is the difference, that they are enjoying it. They are enjoying what they're doing while you were suffering through it. And now the same thing applies everywhere. I mean, look at Elisa Liu, a US figure skater. She literally quit her sport. And why did she do that? Because she felt like she was being burnt out. She felt controlled. She did not feel like she had a say in her sport, in her own sport, on her own body, on her own performance. So she quit. And when she came back after quitting, mind you, it is not easy to make a comeback once you quit your sport. But when she indeed did that, she changed just one thing. She made sure that she was having fun. She made sure that she had a say in what she wore, what song she performed to, and these things changed everything. Everything. And then she went on to winning a freaking gold medal. The only difference was that this time she was enjoying what she was doing. It was coming from her heart, not from suffering. Because the moment something becomes yours again, the moment you start enjoying it, you will not suffer. So yes, work hard, put in those hours, show up, be consistent, but do not romanticize suffering. Oh my God, do not romanticize that shit. Don't sit there thinking that pain automatically means progress, as contradictory as it may sound to what you've been hearing. Because unnecessary suffering is not a sign that you're doing something right. It usually is a sign that something may be off. And the sooner you stop glorifying it, the sooner your life will move in the right direction. And with that, I will see you in the next video.